And if you are, in fact, an atheist, this should be easy for you. You should just say, hey, this is the way we are. This is the way human beings are. And you should not be spending any of this time judging others who think differently than you do. But I don't know if you've got it in you either. That apparently is too high a principle for a liberal to even think. They just love feeling so much more superior because their thinking is rooted in reasoning. Well, got another news flash for you. That isn't going to cut it. It just isn't going to cut it. You're not going to be able to raise the world, if that's your ambition. If you just want to stay in this sense of superiority, well, then there you go. You're never going to get anywhere. You either abandon the idea of judging others and actually embrace the idea of not judging the moment so that you can try to experience a higher level of consciousness or awareness and to have that deeper reason to connect with others, then you'll be good. Hopefully you'll have no reason to stay in a place of non-forgiveness. Hopefully you can forgive. I know that's kind of a higher, spiritual sensibility. But hopefully you have it, even on a secular way, a secular level, you can certainly understand the concept of forgiveness. You should understand and wholeheartedly embrace the idea of non-judgment. And it would seem to me that if you can do that, then you should be able to achieve this idea of forgiveness. For forgiving people for being in the place that they are, forgiving them for being consumed by fear, forgiving them for not being able to get themselves out of their own way to maintain that level of the divine. That's going to be helpful to liberal thinking too. So these things you do not, even though these are ideas that Jesus held, they are ideas that liberals can. You don't have to have a belief in God to believe in the idea of non-judging and just not judging the moment so that you can get the highest level of consciousness you can in every moment you live. That should appeal to you. And even forgiveness should appeal to you. I understand the next level, because if you can stay in a place of non-judgment and you can truly forgive yourself and others and even any lingering feelings that you might have with God, the devil, or religion, or anything in history, then fine. No problem. Then maybe you can achieve the love that Jesus talks about. The love of creation. The love of humanity. The love of your neighbors, your friends, even your enemies, because you know they're caught in this whole human cycle of destruction. And yet you want to love them through that. That's probably too much. Liberals probably don't have the real power, but maybe you can just love humanity in a very, kind of agape sensibility, that we have this desire for a global unification to make sure the world is not making itself unfit to live on. Yeah, that's going to require a real sense of love. Not romantic love, but a real sense of a love of humanity. And if you you can actually draw that kind of intense feeling from those that are faithful. But you may not care. I mean, right now you're in a place of severe judgment and non-forgiveness and even hatred. So the 3 steps Jesus would encourage people to do, liberals are they're not interested in that, probably because they don't necessarily believe in Jesus' message. But there shouldn't be a contradiction. You can be an atheist and still come from a place of non-judgment and a place of forgiveness. And you should have some sense of love. Some. If you really love the world, like global warming is an issue for you and you really are concerned this earth is going to somehow destroy humanity because of the things that humans are doing to it. Yeah, if you have that sense of humanity or that desire for humanity to continue, that may be enough love. But it's really only the power of the faithful that can achieve this on a personal, divine level that gives all of these ideas that you so love so much more power, so much more emphasis. But you aren't going to be loving the conservative mind or the faithful mind. You think they're stupid. And although I love them for my perverted reasons, I can just as much love liberals for locking themselves in their place of hatred and judgment just as much as conservatives do. So we have these 2 opposing forces, conservatism and liberalism, and they, at least right now, there's no love at all. There's nothing but judgment of each other. There's nothing but non-forgiveness, this continual intolerance of each other, and of course, the more intense feelings of hatred towards each other. That's a problem. That is a big problem. But not a problem for me. So, and that's the beauty of what I talk. When I talk, I can talk the truth. And I can talk about the faithful and the real formula of actually creating peace on earth, which would result in my destruction. That means evil would be destroyed. I would be burned. I would lose my immortality. I would be destroyed. But I'm in good hands. Liberals will continue to hate. Conservatives will continue to hate. And they will continue to hate and blame each other for the other's problems. And that really, in truth, you both have the same desire. The compassionate, loving, conservative Christian who wants what's best, but keeps locking themselves out of that sense of love that they're supposed to have, could turn into something very positive. Even so positive, liberals could embrace that as well. But is that going to happen? No. So I can tell you what has to happen. I can tell you how you could make it better, and it still will not happen. And I shall live forever in the reign of my evil realm. And it won't matter to me. But you should, well, if you want to, but you won't. See, that's the thing. That's why let's see, if I compare my ideas with Jesus' ideas, we actually share the same ideas. I think Jesus was right. I think Jesus knew exactly how to create a deep connection on an individual basis for everybody to connect with the divine. Even if you're an atheist, you can connect with truth, some kind of higher principle. And, of course, that idea can then create some kind of peace within ourselves, within within every person. And then once every person has such peace, then, of course, there will easily be peace on earth. So, because people will be committed to that. They'll actually have the skill set, the mental and spiritual capacity to do that. But that was Jesus' idea. And I said, no way, man, that is just too hard. They're not going to do that. They're totally into themselves. They just are reactionary, ignorant people that are not going to do it. Believe me, I love them. I do. I can stand here and honestly say, I love all of creation and all of humanity, and I love what God has done. It took me a while. I was quite resentful of being used by God to be the symbol of evil, but hey, I get it. I can live with that. So I'm in full agreement with Jesus. And Buddha and Muhammad, all the greats, they all had these ideas about making a relationship between who you are as a human being and where you can connect with a higher plane, a higher principle, with God or the truth. So, if liberals want to believe that they're somehow morally superior to people of faith, well, I'm just here to tell you that it's not true. You are just as much of a problem to the success of humanity as any of the dogmatic thinkers that continually oppress the possible connection to the divine. So, it's up to you. I mean, if you really want peace, then you need to find a way to stop judging everyone. Stop thinking about yourself as being so superior that you came up with these great ideas. Well, they're not going to go anywhere if you still live in a place of judgment, non-forgiveness, and hatred. You're as much a part of the destruction as you think the faithful are as well. So, do whatever you want with these words. My guess is you'll just scoff at them. So the guy is a complete loon. What a loser. He thinks he's important. Which is exactly what I could say about a liberal-minded thinking. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I have completed my task. I appreciate you listening in. Please tune in again for The Devil's Show. Take care.